Any old business? Any committee or organization reports this evening? Mr. McAvoy.
See if I can reread my notes from a week ago or so. Garden State Coalition of Schools met here in East Brunswick on July 16th. Following the clerical routine of minutes, treasurer's report, membership, calendar, and the like, the discussion turned to special education funding. Our director, Lynn Strickland, reported that the Special Education Funding Task Force had completed its work and findings, but that the governor had halted its release. Speculation resulted in the ensuing conversation as to why, yet the bottom line is a wait and see. The Pension Reform Task Force that the governor created has completed its groundwork, but implementation of its recommendations will have to go to the legislature and then through the governor's desk for final approval. Common Core standards that the governor said were not working will also require another commission to investigate the matter. It appears that there are flaws in science and math, and that technology standards should be investigated and/or implemented. The discussion regarding Park was a resounding, when are we going to see the results? And therefore, how this will play out in teacher evaluation and student achievement data. Another lengthy and detailed account of how the work in Trenton affects the commonality of the schools involved in the Garden State Coalition. Technology Committee met on July 21st, and whereas we try to keep said meetings to an hour, we had a lot of information to discuss, and we stayed in session for a little over 2 hours. Having said that, we had our new IT director, Mr. Ed Leipold, in attendance to update us on, one, Wi-Fi at Hammersholt School proceeding in a perfect plan as he has developed. Number two, the infrastructure totally completed at the high school and Churchill, and therefore all labs and Wi-Fi areas will be ready for September. Number three, an examination of the district website to address any current information that is needed and ensuring easy navigation. Four, investigating and managing current security options to protect our system. Dr. Valesky addressed the Park tech piece and was pleased to report that there were no major problems during that time period of testing. He said that Hammersholt Middle School will be significantly improved by the time next year's Park exam is implemented, showing us via a website, a smartboard presentation, how the access points work at Hammersholt. Furthermore, Dr. Valesky reviewed for us how students at East Brunswick High School and Churchill Junior High School will pilot a private technology device program integrated into the curriculum, and reviewed some dates and data for us to examine. We went back to Mr. Leipold for a comparison and discussion of the present Moodle platform versus the Google Education platform, and we'll use future data and meetings to address these. And finally, policy surrounding staff and students was touched upon, in particular policy number 2363 with regard to privately owned technology, which is already in place. And it was a very constructive meeting with, let's see, Susanna and Vicki and Dr. Cohen in attendance, and future dates have already been established.
Mr. McAvoy,
yep.
Were you of the opinion that that policy would continue to serve us, or will it likely?
I think what we need to do is look at that real carefully. I think we need to reread it and reread it again and study it and make sure it applies specifically to all of our curriculum behaviors that are going to be happening. I think it's very important that the technology committee has been revamped, and so when we get all interested parties involved in that discussion, we'll come up with a final. We don't need to just go, like I read policy 2363, we don't just need to use that, we need to make sure that it works out perfectly for our district, whether it's technology in first grade or technology in 12th grade. And that's why we set up, I gave Dr. Valesky a list of dates, and I was over anxious and over eager, it's almost as if we're doing it every month, but we don't need to meet every month, but close to it, just like all the other committees that meet so carefully and dissect everything. Okay.
Still has to be reviewed by policy before I think we could.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But, a recommendation from the technology
Yeah.
committee would be pretty critical for,
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
for policy.
Yeah, we'll take care of that. Thank you, Dr. Merritt.
Any other reports? Okay.